Mic check. Sound 1, 2. Mic check.
Yeah, I won't have sound on my phone. I'm just doing it for the chat.
Balls.
And I was instantly retweeted too. Nice.
Aha!
And
Is there a thing on Twitter to auto retweet, just like regardless of content? Or
Probably.
is it always a manual thing?
I don't
There's probably
fucking.
bots that work it.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't
Okay,
pay attention
I'm
to
no
that.
Twitter person, so I don't know if that's a thing or not. That'd be
So-
me asking, like, how do you put a video up on Facebook? Because I never done it. That just shows you how much I use it.
Yeah. I started uploading all of our stuff to SoundCloud today, and
Sweet.
Oh.
man, they throttle you on how much you can upload at one time. So it seems like I'm going to have to be doing a podcast a day before
Ooh.
Okay,
we're up to
that reminds
speed.
me. I need to get my my NAS box working because I have it up and running, and I've done some stuff and verified it does function like it's supposed to. Now I got to figure out how to do the extension thing. So I think what should happen is you'll download the Netgear app, the common app that's used, and you'll create yourself a login account. And after you've done that, I will basically place the email that you use for this login account as a accessible user, and then set a password on the file, and then you should be able to access it like
So,
a standard.
It's like
folder in
registering
your
a
browser.
router, kind of.
Yeah, it has to recognize your computer, which will be verified through basically an email confirmation, and then it's going to match your MAC address and allow you to access the NAS box.
All right.
So it's a little more IT-ish and not super user-friendly like an Apple product or
Hey,
something. But
that's perfectly fine.
Netgear's pretty solid hardware, so
Yeah.
I'm sticking by it. But I haven't done that yet, or I'll experiment with my dad's NAS box when I go home this weekend and
Yeah.
see if we can get it to work. So, yeah, we'll try that and we'll see how that works.
But anyway, I guess we should kick this off, huh?
Would be good.
All right.
We can start the stream up and get on. Well, the stream's already
Yeah,
up right now.
stream is
right?
already up. Absolutely.
Okay, let me turn down my volume here, so in case things get crazy, you don't want this coming through my mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Best, where you at? You ready to go?
Mic position.
My check.
optimal.
1, 2, 1, 2.
Okay.
You're pretty crisp.
Good thing we can edit all this out in post.
Yeah, I'm gonna make you do it this weekend.
I'll have to do it on Saturday because I work both days.
Ugh. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna
Oh
do a
yeah,
wedding,
you forgot to
so.
tell her
Yeah,
he's fully loaded all the way till next Saturday.
I don't get
So it
another
sounds like-
off day until next Saturday. So,
Oof.
yeah.
Rough.
That
Rough.
kind of sucks.
It kind of really
Yeah.
sucks. But anyway, on to things that don't suck. This is episode 24 of whatever this is show that we're doing, and this one is about E3. And it was E3 week, and we have a lot to talk about. And
A lot.
it's all video games and goodness and whatnot. I'm going to press this button in here so we can get going. What do we want to hit first? There's so much. We got Xbox, we got Ubisoft, we got
Well, let's hit the
PlayStation.
preface right before the E3, which was the EA press conference, and that was probably the most awkward entertainment industry presentation I've ever had to bear witness to.
it was
Like,
really
You were
bad.
absolutely spot on how awkward it was.
It was like the
So-
Office levels of like cringy bad awfulness.
Yeah. So
A
the
lot of
first
people were
point-
looking at the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first point I'll make is they pretty much started off talking about Battlefield and Battlefield 5 specifically.
Uh-huh.
And when those developers mentioned that they would have a battle royale, there was a even 50-50 split that I could audibly hear between boos and yays.
Yeah.
And
Ugh.
it was that was like the first major awkward moment, and they're like, they didn't even bat an eye. They just kept going. And
Well, what
I
can
was
you
like,
do at that point? You can just
Oh,
keep
yeah.
smiling and move on. That's
Yep,
about it.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Wear it proudly. and
Because,
move on.
you're at an EA event, your overlords that are holding your leash are right there off camera.
The CEO at that. So it's
Yeah,
not just the Overlord.
definitely.
The CEO Overlord is
The
looking at
CE
you.
Overlord?
Overlord.
Yeah.
There we go. Trademarked. DerNami Gaming.
Oh,
But
man.
yeah, so that was awkward. I kind of like the new methodology they're going about with map creation and mobility. That's a plus. I like it.
Were you talking about Battlefield,
don't
right?
like the yes, Battlefield. We're
We're
still on
talking
the
about
Battlefield topic. I don't like the fact that it's set in World War II.
No.
By now, the World Wars are very overplayed.
Especially the second one.
I mean, a lot happened, don't get me wrong, and they're trying to go the angle of tell the untold stories, which, okay, kudos points awarded for, the
And
lesser
there are a
told
lot of
stories.
those.
There are.
To be
There
fair,
are
there are a
many.
lot of them.
I mean, everyone always knows the main ones, and obviously the untold ones don't get their side shared mostly, but so I gotta give them positives for that. Nothing wrong with that, but they're taking nice new mechanics, nice new developments, and putting the oldest coat of paint on top of it is what the problem that I have with it.
Yeah.
Like a nice ancient coat of paint that's the same color that everyone has seen time and time again, and to some people, like myself, I think it's going to cause it to lose its luster before it begins.
It doesn't have a luster. It's the oldest coat of paint ever.
But
It's
the
all.
luster
It
is
came
going to be
out
the
of the
mechanics
can
trying
in
to
sepia, dude.
It's going to try. It's like when stuff gets nicked and worn, and you can kind of see past the paint. That'll be like the new stuff they've added. But the problem is that
You mean Royale, right? Like,
yeah,
that's the new.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ugh, what a farce! What a farce! I was on the fence about Battlefield 5 to begin with, and I was
But after
kind of
that-
interested in like all of the developments that they were saying, like you could tow around AA guns, so
But
people
now
couldn't.
most people might be mostly playing Battle Royale, or they might. I mean, Conquest is always going to be played. That's what Battlefield is known for.
Meh.
So it's always going to have running servers of tons of people.
Yeah, absolutely.
However, I think.
But I don't care about Battle Royale. Battlefield is not
Yeah.
really about Battle Royale. It's about Conquest.
They're money grabbing
so-
it because it's the current cash cow method of
Well, yeah.
game developers.
So here's the thing: I never take the opportunity to defend these type of shenanigans, but I will say that I will give it to DICE. Their battle royale version isn't a simple battle royale mode; it's a
True.
condition of the game. So
It's in
you
grand
still-
operations, right?
yes.
Yeah.
So from what they say, what happens is if there is not a winning side, I don't know how that will work, but if there's not a winning side, then it goes into a battle royale mode, and it's last man standing wins the match.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So it's not an immediate royale mode.
I don't
know
think that
how
they
it's
could
gonna
even
work.
come right out and make a blatant battle royale, because then it would be like blatant copying. They have to put a twist on it to be different.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they could get IP infringed.
Well, they're still gonna get sued by player unknowns. Like that's.
They're gonna try.
They're
I'm
still
sure
gonna
that's
do
just
that.
the way, that's just the way legal stuff works, and there'll be tons of news on that later. I'm sure they'll wait till the game gets out and then attack or whatever they want to do. But
Attack.
anyways, that's all I got to say about Battlefield. I'm less intrigued about it than I would have been for some of the other Battlefields, and
Yeah.
slightly disappointed.
Ain't gonna be playing it unless they have like a free weekend or something like that. Then I'll see what's going on. But
Yeah,
It's really
You
sad.
played
Trust me.
Battlefield 5?
There's-
What?
No.
There's so many
I'm not.
other games in this list we're about to talk about. I could
Absolutely.
absolutely see me keeping myself busy without
Yeah.
having to
I'm
worry about
so-
Battlefield.
we'll be good to go without Battlefield
But you
5.
guys enjoyed the last one so much.
We did.
did.
We played the hell out of it. But
But the
times
problem
are
is it
changing.
wore off faster than the Battlefield before it, because the World War I setting and what they had to offer was just kind of plain and boring.
okay.
The Battlefield 3 and 4 honestly had more in it and more to it than this Battlefield.
Okay,
And
that
that's
makes
partly why it's lost its luster earlier on.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of stuff.
All right, like I said, I don't normally defend EA and or Dice, but I just had to put that out there that I think I actually am interested in seeing how this game mechanic works. Not enough to purchase the game because I suck at Battle Royale slash Battlefields, but I do want to see how it works for them and if it actually is an interesting enhancement to the Grand Operations mode.
Keyword you said there, watch, and that's exactly what we'll do.
Yeah.
I mean,
okay.
Operations was already a super huge, gigantic, really long, all-day event if you got in one match.
Yeah,
that
if you were
they're adding,
successful, that sucker would get drawn out.
Yeah, you're looking at like a 2-hour playtime if you have like a really drawn-out session. And
I don't know if they're trying to shorten that or just make it doable in the first place and not let the defenders have the upper hand the whole time.
I don't know, but like, DICE always likes to make complicated games, and them adding more mechanics to an operation that's like 2 hours long is not anything that I want to deal with.
Well,
so
I think a big part of the problem is that the operations in the first Battlefield 1 were not balanced. No matter how you sliced it, the defending team always had the upper advantage.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, unless you could just absolutely steamroll, there was no way that you could get through.
You have to have ace coordination on your team in order for that to happen. And like every stereotypical team in Battlefield, you're stuck with the glue eaters.
Every single time.
That is just that's how life is. You play Battlefield, you play with a team glue eater. That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm. But we don't have to do with that.
Someone's got to be the ringer, guys.
No.
Well, we were for the longest time. We're turning our backs on that life.
Like, I remember being top 3 or 4 in the leaderboard, like 8 matches in a row, but we lost every single one of those matches.
Yep.
You can only carry the team so far before your back gives out. So that's just how that works.
Yeah.
I think I'm done talking about that.
Yeah. Enough about that. Let's move on, shall we?
Next point about EA Play press conference was that host was a little overbearing. She's okay to look at, but she, like, I don't know, something about the way she talked and presented. I was like, okay, you can, okay, yeah, okay, you can just, okay, all right, keep going, all right. I don't know. She seemed a little overbearing to me, but that's a personal gripe, really.
No, Scorch and I watched, or maybe I commented to Scorch afterwards. Like I usually try and look at my own
the cringiness just a little bit.
Just a little bit. I try and give my ladies fair shake, and she had to sit there and bring energy to the crowd and everything like that.
Did it? Nailed it.
But it didn't work in the setting, and I don't know if it was the material or she just didn't play off of the people who were there with her very well. But it was awkward, and it was not the best hosting I've seen from.
Well, I'll give her this. She didn't really have all that much to work with, Like,
no,
there wasn't chemistry in that entire thing.
No.
So I won't fault her in being kind of awkward.
The night before and told, hey, do you want to host for EA Play? And in her mind, she's like, oh my gosh, awesome opportunity. So she took it, and then she got there, and they're like, here's your 2 cards, and she's like, what? And then she just had to just make it work. Like, that's how I imagine that operating, because it's EA.
Yeah.
It's unprepared. So besides that, next up, the new Star Wars Battlefront 2 announcements. Okay, that guy who did the announcements for that was the most awkward human being in gaming I think I have seen to date.
Clearly he drew the shortest straw in the history of short straws.
There wasn't a straw to draw. He was just told, do this thing.
Yeah, we had like a quantum distance straw that he picked. Like, it was tiny.
Like, maybe a few particles tall in order to grab it and have some length to it. But oh my goodness, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything about Battlefront 2, I don't even think I heard it because the whole time I'm just like, can you just stop talking? God, like really? Oh man. I think he talked about some maps and some new stuff from the Han Solo stuff that not many people cared about, and except for like the 8 people that yayed in the audience. And
yeah, they did announce the Solo DLC to tie in with the film. So they have like the young Han Solo, the young Lando Calrissian as character avatars that you can play with now. So that seemed pretty cool. They introduced the Kessel map. They also announced that they are bringing the Clone Wars into the game. So people who enjoy Clone Wars,
yeah, there was mixed EAs out of the audience on that one too.
Well, you know, Jetpack Trooper was the best trooper in the history of all. But they also announced this was the awkward thing was like they announced General Grievous. He got a whoop. Count Dooku got like cricket chirp.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Literally no one said a word when he mentioned Dooku. Silence
like,
for that useless guy.
They announced Obi-Wan, and I'm sure Ewan McGregor is super happy wherever he is at this point in time. Bring that man back. He wants to play Obi-Wan one more time.
Yeah.
And then
hey, if he can wring more money out of that franchise, then more power to him, man.
Yeah, he's a pretty good actor, so I'm gonna give it to him.
I'll just let him do it. Yeah, he's cool. He seems like a cool dude. I just, don't.
And then every other addition to the Battlefield 2 just had to deal with maps and more stuff with the Starfighter game type, which I don't think we ever played except maybe once. And
I don't think we ever played, actually.
I
don't remember.
Just to say that I did, and then I didn't anymore after that because it was awful. Oh, that's what it was. They were introducing a Starfighter one where everyone pilots only hero ships.
Yeah.
It's chaos.
Boy, if you don't like, Darth Maul's like cheese missiles,
with the ability to cloak right out and just disappear,
you're not gonna like that game mode. Yeah.
So yeah, there's that. Honestly, the next thing up that they did to me was, if I had to rate it, the most interesting thing of EA Play, which was that game Unravel 2 that they talked about.
Oh yeah.
I actually thought it was a very picturesque and very, soft and gentle looking type of game. Like I was thoroughly impressed with it, how good the render quality and motion quality was for such a small indie game.
You could really see the fibers in that yarn.
Yeah, I mean, however, the guy presenting it I thought was, pretty awkward.
I mean, he was a developer. You can't expect everyone to have perfect charisma all the time. Especially when you're working on like programming and video games. These people don't have very many social skills, man.
Thousand, which then ties into a couple million online.
Okay. I gotta say this. Like, what? Did they invite 25 people to EA Play? Because
that
was like tiny.
And that audience looked like 80.
Yeah, what's the deal? This is supposed to be a big deal, and you invite like 25 people.
Okay, did anyone else catch the really subtly staged thing of, oh, look who we have that happens to be sitting in the audience, and then there's a perfect little chair and a wider than normal aisle space in front of him in order to make sure they can get to him for the interview part.
Yeah, he was the guy from Respawn.
Yeah, that was. I was like, really, guys? Like, I think you're at this point you're a tryhard.
Oh my goodness! What a coincidence! We'll just take time out of our busy press conference to talk about the guy from Respawn about his new Star Wars game and what's it called?
In this extra wide aisle.
It has a title, but nothing else is going on about it. How interesting! Can we clap for this one guy? Thanks. Okay, moving on. That was the whole thing. Like, that was it.
That was the most awkward. Oh, that was the awkward moment.
The most awkward for me. Okay. I guess the most awkward for me was the Battlefield 2 guy. That part I just kind of like snoozed through. I was uninterested, but awkward I can see. I can buy that.
I have my own awkward moment that I'd like to bring up about EA Play. And it was when
Is it in the next 2 games?
It might be.
Okay.
It was when just after I shed a tear for how low Command and Conquer has gone
to
become a mobile game after years and years of prestigiously sitting on top of the RTS ladder. It's now a mobile game, and they had two dudes that clearly have never met each other ever play this game in front of all 25 people that are there and supposed to be excited about this mobile game, and then the guy behind him who was presenting it was like way too into it, and he's like, oh yeah, he's got the harvesters up in the crystals, oh yeah, it's gonna be so great, you gotta back away from your infantry there, he's got a lot of control coming up in here, and yes, he takes the round. Yeah. And the guys are like, what are you doing, dude?
Did you hear the guy's response that won? I was just here to make mammoth tanks.
Yeah.
That was his exiting line. That was the player's exiting line to winning the match.
Yeah.
I was just here to make mammoth tanks.
The dude,
so literally, some EA spokesperson went to this guy and said, hey, we want you to play this MOBA game, and we just want you to make mammoth tanks. Like, that's basically what they said.
It was awful. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, that was... I thought that player's, like... comment at the end just put the perfect period on what the hell was going on with that. And yes, It is sad that Command & Conquer has basically been relegated to the garbage bin of the development world.
That sucks.
Until someone decides this is unjust and it must be fixed.
I decided that it was unjust before I even saw it.
But no,
I mean, it's not like I have power.
Who actually sink his hands into it and like bring it back from the ashes, because it's basically been burned away.
Yeah, it's done.
There's nothing
gone.
Left.
It's very sad. The other awkward thing that I saw, sorry, I have two, was when they had those two guys that played a lot of NFL 2K whatever, and they were like,
oh, I entirely skipped the sports section.
Oh my god, dude, they either didn't like each other or have never spoken to each other, and were also really bad at reading the teleprompter. Hey, Danny, by the way. And they just they tripped through the NFL presentation, talking about esports and how closely NFL tied into esports. And it was so clear that all 25 people in the audience did not give a shit about sports games. And hated it so much, dude.
Cringe.
Yeah.
Cringe.
Oh, it was so bad.
The only other thing I could mention from EA Play was a game called Sea of Solitude, which looked depressing and strange.
Yeah, but it was from a little, I'll put indie studio in quotes because they're now backed by EA. Joe Mai Studios, which are in Berlin, and the woman genuinely was nervous and was genuinely from the production team and seemed very excited about actually being able to present her work, which is cool, and I will give her all the props for doing that, because that seems terrifying, especially when the press conference is bombing as hard as it was.
Yeah, she came in at the tail end of when the bomb is like, when the detonator is like touching the ground and is about to depress the internal pin. That's the point she comes out at, basically.
Yeah.
She was the one moment of like genuine, this is what, gaming is and what the creativity of a studio can be. Like, that was the one moment. I guess maybe Unravel 2 actually had that kind of feeling too. The rest of it was just like,
she's the one who put it into words. The Unravel guy just stood there and is like, it's really awesome. Like, I really like.
It's so good, and it's available today.
I was gonna say, it is available for anyone who is out there thinking about trying it. It's out for you guys to try.
Yeah,
it looks pretty cool.
I mean, go for it if you really want to.
So that pretty much wraps up the cringy EA Play.
Well, do you want to hit Anthem now as part of EA Play, or do we want to leave it for the greatest hits?
That's the period on the cringy part, and then they had to keep Anthem to the end because that was going to be the only saving grace, regardless of how EA Play went.
Yeah.
So, getting off of mindset of EA Play and trying to separate Anthem out of it because it doesn't belong in the same pool of awkwardness as the rest of EA Play. They showed the trailer for Anthem and some playability, and then they brought out 3 of the directors, I think, of the game. Yep. And they legitimately were just calm, reserved, weren't awkward, had prepared a little beforehand, you could tell, and had some good cohesion in their conversations. And
Well, that was because it was all scripted and everybody knew the questions
Yes.
beforehand. It was the 4-hour Vladimir Putin talkathon of
but at
the
least
EA
they
world.
talked it out, whereas everyone else was just like left to their own devices. So they, I don't know if EA scripted it or if the people in Anthem were like, look, this has to be done to a T, or it is going to be bad news. So
Yeah.
they got their act together for that. So kudos to them.
Danny says, and I feel like I have to add this comment because it just sums up everything so well. She says, I didn't think the EA press conference was worthy, so I just sat there and played God of War. Yeah,
Honestly,
that was a good call. Good call.
Zero
Good
fault
call.
to you playing God of War over EA Play, because I would play God of War again over EA Play.
Yeah.
That's an entirely worthwhile endeavor.
On the other
Not their
hand,
finest moment.
Anthem
Anyways,
looks fun, man. Anthem looks fun.
Okay. I will be playing the base game. I'm not going to be buying any frou-frou nonsense they sell upwards, but honestly, I'm not going to pre-order it.
Really?
What I am going to do is so I don't get
Are you
stiffed
serious?
like I did during Battlefront. And if I do pre-order it, it'll be the evening before. So in case there's some nonsense
This is
that
unexpected.
surfaces, I will not. I mean, the game, whether I download it now or the day before, I'm still guaranteed to download and play it. There's nothing preventing me from doing that.
That's
The
true.
only difference is they can get my money now and get free interest off my money, and I have the inability to retract or easily retract without going through a circus act of hoops and phone calls to get them to refund me. Or I could just not give them my money until I'm ready to play the game.
That's fair, I suppose.
Because I don't want to
That
get
is fair.
stiffed again like I did Battlefront. Because if something comes out and the truth escapes the clutches of EA from something that's being swept under the covers right now, I don't want to be stuck with it. And I'm just learning from my Battlefront escapade and playing it safe. But that's not going to stop me probably from playing the game because I want to play that game.
Yeah, looks like
I'm
a lot
not
of fun.
going to just chuck them my money now.
Did you see what you did there, EA? You hurt Arcadia. He no longer trusts in you and your refund policies.
He's
And he's not going to pre-order this game in advance.
Policies, but yes.
His heart has grown dark, foreshadowing for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
take that, EA.
So
I am one people whose money you will not get beforehand. To squeeze out.
All right. I am on the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to this. Well,
that's because you have a chronic issue with pre-orders.
I have. Hey now, language. I have already pre-ordered Anthem. I've already pre-ordered.
Whoa.
I've already pre-ordered the big boy, more money version of Anthem, and I have.
You have? Oh
I
my
have.
gosh.
And here's why. Okay. This game looks fun. We already know that we're going to be playing it, which means that's at least $60 down, right?
Minimum.
I already gave him that. I already know it's going to happen. It's already there, right? And on top of that, I want BioWare to succeed. And if they don't succeed, they need a little bit of money to escape.
Okay.
And
so this is your help to get out of the pit money donation?
If they...
This is your golden parachute for
Oh
BioWare.
my God.
Oh yeah, my extra $15. But let me you know, let me keep going along this thread here. I pre-ordered it and all of that because I really like BioWare, and after Andromeda, after they closed down the previous studio that worked on Andromeda, it's very clear that they are in trouble, especially with EA at the helm. And if this game fails, BioWare's gone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. BioWare is over. Like, that's it. They're gone forever. They're going to be split up. All of the developers are going to be scattered to the wind.
What will probably happen is EA, being the retards they are, will, like you said, fragment them and split them apart, but the developers themselves could venture out and create a new facade for themselves, but still be the same core BioWare people.
I
to
doubt
basically
it.
restart the engine. I can see that happening.
I doubt it. I don't think that's going to happen, especially with EA holding on to the properties like they like to.
Well, I will say I think that's pretty apparent that they're sinking as much, everything that they can into Anthem to make sure that it's successful, that it is the game that everyone is expecting. But I, on the other hand, after this E3, think they're going to do it. I don't think they're in that much danger.
Really?
Well, they've definitely shown facets of the world that, to their credit, provide backing for the hype that's been given to it so far. So they've at least, made credible the speculations thus far in a positive light. So yes, I will agree with that.
I think that if they deliver on the promise of the game that they showed this past week, then they're going to be perfectly fine. I watched some of the additional interviews and dev chats that they had, and it actually seems like they have a roadmap in place already for game expansion. It seems like they have. Okay, so hold on. Let me take a step back and say, I think they're going to deliver on the promise of a game that is fun to play with your friends. I am a little worried about their narrative, and that's just because they've said that the majority of the narrative is going to take place in your hub world, right?
In the Fort Tarsus, I believe.
In Fort Tarsus, your hub world. And there's going to be a mini world, mini hub area, which is like
it's that walker thing, right?
The walker thing.
The portable hub.
They mentioned it specifically, and so I'm sure there might be some story beats that could occur inside of that giant walker. But it's kind of, in my mind, it's kind of hard to tell an engaging story within
this roulette style multiplayer world.
Yes, where you're just going from everyone hates fetching carry quests in a game anyway, and to me, going from one end of the hub world to the other, just to have someone tell you something, is the equivalent of that, and so that's where my concern is. But as far as gameplay mechanics, if you're able to join up with your friends like you're supposed to, and the combat that they have looks like it's a ton of fun. It's like
Infinite
a cross
flying,
between
that is all.
near infinite flying.
Oh
it looks like a cross between your favorite shooter and then your favorite flight simulator, space simulator game, because you're flying with your suits and you have all these combo moves. It just looked cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I totally agree. Danny says she really doesn't want this game to fail because she needs a new Dragon Age. I don't blame her.
I see the ulterior motives here.
Someone's got to keep their
to
eyes
hell
on the
with
prize.
Anthem, give me dragons.
Yeah. Dragon Age is a really good one. Yeah, absolutely. I completely understand. But I'm still worried about this game, you guys, and it's because looking back on what we've seen on Anthem and the way they've spoken about it is the exact same way, nearly the exact same way, step for step, stride for stride, that we saw people talk about Destiny.
Yep.
I'm still worried about that.
Yeah, but how do I say this? Yeah, okay, yeah.
I agree.
Even after
That's why there is
playing
trepidation in
Andromeda, I still have more faith in BioWare than I do at Bungie.
Yeah.
And that's just
Agreed.
that's not
That's
just
fair.
bitterness.
Yeah, absolutely.
BioWare made
I
a
just
trip,
feel like they
and they're
can pull
getting
it
back
together.
up, and we're about to see if they're actually going to get back up again. Bungie tripped, face planted, nailed themselves to the ground, and then friggin' their failure is so blatant and obvious, it's not funny.
Yeah.
I mean, in one of the developer chats, and I'm sorry because I can't remember the name of the person who was speaking, and I didn't write it down because I'm still new at this, actually, even though, or maybe I'm not new at this, I'm just lazy. But he mentioned specifically, gripes that I have about it, he mentioned specifically, right now, there is no frozen zone, there is no desert zone right now. So like they're and those were issues that I had with Andromeda. Like it seemed very generic.
Oh, you
But
didn't
Yeah.
want to play desert and then want to play white desert?
yeah, man, I
And then
did
go
not
to
get off of
Rocky
that ice
Desert.
planet. I was so anyway. We're not gonna get into that.
Yeah,
But
we can definitely do that a different day. We have a lot to talk about right now.
Yeah.
but it just listening to them talk about it and seeing the footage, discovering, that they have four different Javelin class suits, that they have a branching progression within each individual ones.
Hmm.
And then you can also, as your one main player character, switch between all of them. I'm a Warframe person, so like that grabbed my attention. The possibility of them adding new
Diversity.
javelins in the future,
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Oh,
I feel like they have a better understanding of what they want to do with the game and how to achieve it.
Well, they've
than
created themselves
Destiny
more room
did.
for flexibility. If
Yeah.
if the people don't like a certain thing, they can literally lock that aspect in, not change it, and move their focus elsewhere, and not have to worry about that thing that the community is complaining about to not change.
Yeah.
So they've set themselves up to be more responsive about changes and more easily adapt to those changes. So yeah,
Yeah.
looking to be positive.
Yeah, I'm hesitantly optimistic about the game, regardless of how much money I've already thrown at the screen.
Same.
I'm optimistic. Optimistic.
You can be hesitantly optimistic. I'm going to be positively optimistic for them, and I will
Ooh.
pre-order. But I'm not going to pre-order now. My pre-order will come once we have a little bit more footage and
Yep.
once I do that beta.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm going to purchase and play the game, but my pre-order isn't going to come until at that point. Because if I get it
Did they
and
announce they
you're
were having a
infinite,
beta for?
they did announce that they were having
yeah.
a beta, and I
But
think
they
you
didn't
can
say
sign up-
when. I don't think
They
they
did
were
not
on
say
date.
when.
Yeah. I want to say it's like around October or something like that, but there's no. Don't quote me on that. I'm not sure if that's true or not.
Okay, I don't remember a date specifically said. So
Yeah.
I don't recall either, but I just like we can get the game and then it's not near infinite flying, and then the controls are so bad that you're just like listening to the left all the
extremely.
time
If
you
there
play.
is no infinite flying out of the gate, like they showed in that demo, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna
Oh,
be
calm down, Arcades. You're
I'm
still
gonna
gonna
be
play the
salty.
hell out of the game. You're gonna be like, well,
It's
god
gonna be
damn
fun.
it,
play
I'm
it,
gonna
I'm gonna
be
be salty.
I'm just gonna be the Anchor Colossus and be salty with my mortar blowing up people left and right.
Yep, I'm just gonna sit in the back and blow everything to hell. That's exactly what I'm gonna do.
Oh
I
my
think that's
goodness.
enough EA play. Anthem,
All right.
looking forward to it. Probably most positive thing out of EA play. And,
The
we're
most
gonna move
positive thing
on
out of
to,
EA Play.
Yeah, the Microsoft trailers is what I have first on the list.
I gotta
Oh,
say,
there are so many.
Microsoft crushed it
lot.
this year. They had a
Game
pretty
quantity.
good press conference, I think.
I think they did too, actually.
The way they
Yeah.
worked it was nice. I want them to succeed, not as much as PlayStation, but I want them to succeed. You know,
Agreed.
like competition is what drives a market, and that word that I can't think of right now, innovation. And
Don't want to let that get overused because they use that word a lot in the conference.
yeah, that's
Oh my
true.
A lot.
gosh.
It was definitely an overused word.
Yeah, it's good to see that they're back on their feet. I don't know if they are actually going to recover from the great console war of 2014, but you
Probably
know.
not.
No.
PlayStation destroyed them, and
Yeah.
the numbers still show it.
But anyway,
stats,
let's get
folks.
to this year's E3.
Because they had a lot of good games to be announced, and some of them were even exclusive.
Yeah. They said that they premiered 50 games at their event, and 15 of them were exclusive, which for Microsoft, who didn't have that many exclusives the year before, was pretty good. Albeit most of the things that
Improvement.
they showed you could buy on the other systems, which is totally what we're going to do. Sorry, Microsoft.
And as an aside, because we're going to get back to Microsoft, but as an aside, it was actually really cool to see so many new games being opened up to the Switch.
Yeah.
Like it was just really cool to see that. Like, they
it's a viable
tossed up another
console
trailer.
now.
It's like,
They
I'm
are.
like, yay!
Yeah. We'll get to Nintendo. I got a couple things to say about that. But we'll get to Nintendo.
Yeah,
Microsoft now.
But back to Microsoft because they deserve their props. Let's give it to them.
Alright.
Guys.
Yeah. So they led off the gate with Halo Infinite. They didn't say what it was. They just showed a Spartan helmet and a ring, and they're like, Halo Infinite is coming, and then all of the Xbox fanboys needed to change of pants.
Like, this looks like Halo Wars reskinned, and that was not very fun.
I'm waiting for down the road when they're going to say, Halo Infinite is a shared world in the Halo universe. And you're like, fuck! Fuck!
And it's time to dump this game.
It's coming! Please do it!
Oh, son of a bitch.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah,
oh,
it's
God.
gonna... They didn't hardly show anything about that. But yeah, we can move on from there.
Oh, man.
But it was a great way to open. It was a
It
great way
was.
to open. And
It
show
really was.
Show your fans that you are
take your
thinking
flag.
about them.
It's the same way with Nintendo opening with Mario. You're not going to open with Mario. He's your flagship. Play it up.
They just need... Nintendo needs a console to... They're just gonna come out with one and call it Mario, right?
I would assume that's coming up
I'd
next,
buy
probably.
it.
Because they're going to switch to the Mario.
Ooh, nice.
Bazinga!
Nice.
Okay, that was awful.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. How dare you?
So yeah, I saw that and I was like, well, it looks like the Halo team just needs a little filler till they come out with Halo 6. I think is the next one. So
Or
that was their filler.
Money.
Well, yeah, whichever. Next up, the one that actually proved intriguing of the Microsoft was what the heck? Gears of War 5.
It looked good.
I don't own an Xbox, but if I did, I would own Gears of War because I played the other Gears of War 1 through 3, and I didn't get to play the fourth because Vass got kicked out.
Vass, why did you leave the party?
I didn't. I'm loading right now. It's weird, but continue on.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if I could own an Xbox, I would go buy Gears of War 4 so that I could play that through, and then promptly buy Gears of War 5 when it's available. Because Gears of War, in my opinion, out of all the Microsoft games, has one of the better stories that go with it. You get plenty of action and all kinds of gameplay, but I really like the story because they do a good job of not giving you too much up front, but letting you have your own amount of discovery through the campaign and the plot as you go through. And it's not... Some of it's kind of outlandish just because they can take liberties like that because it's Gears of War, but I don't know, I always found it really engaging in terms of what new thing was going to be discovered, because it's all pretty much a barren wasteland type setting anyways, so just about anything can happen, kind of like in zombie movies. Like, you already know the general setting, but anything can happen. So that kind of plays to their advantage whenever they're making and scripting their stories, but they do a good job with at least maintaining some serious connection to the main characters, which I gotta give it to them. I like it.
Well, so I'm not familiar with the Gears of War franchise other than it is a franchise and it was like a cover shooter kind of thing. And that it had 3 games. And that they announced 3 more with this, didn't they? With Gears of War 5, they announced sequels.
I don't remember if again, I wasn't super plugged into the Gears of War since after they stopped, after the 360 was done, my Xbox days were done too. So all the Gears of Wars that came after, being I think 3 might have been on both consoles, but 4 for sure was an Xbox One title.
Yeah.
And now we got the new 5 coming out, so not super up on that and all the timelines, but it was good. I really liked it. I would play if I owned an Xbox.
Well, the question I was about to ask is, did they have any of those like mascot characters return for the trailer? Because I didn't recognize anyone.
Yeah, Marcus Phoenix
yeah,
is
I
there.
could've swore-
He's the
yeah,
main character
Marcus
for
Phoenix.
like everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
since the first
Okay.
one, he's been the main character, and now his son has grown up and is fighting alongside him in the same squad.
Yeah.
But apparently, according to the trailer, he has some weird condition that he had to activate this thing on his arm to like suppress this infection he has apparently. So there's probably some good juicy plot related to that, or something from the end of Gears 4 that I didn't know. So.
Well, it is. I know it is a continuation of Gears 4, so this is Dad of War 2, basically.
I mean, it can't, hold a single flame against the real Dad of War. But yes,
Yeah. The
I would
attempt
say
is
so.
gallant and noted.
boink. Ah, man. I only kind of vaguely paid attention to it, seeing as how I don't own an Xbox. But,
Well, I remember playing the others, and I really liked them, so I thought it was good. It was interesting. It seems like it's going to diverge a little from the original cast to those two new people that are off to find something. I'm not sure why.
The Wizard of
regards
Oz.
to a symbol or a glyph that she had on a necklace from some new character that they're introducing. So they're
Lara
kind of
Croft?
trying to help split. No, this is.
Yeah, I know, but
The-
the symbol on the necklace that leads them to this treasure, it sounds like
Oh.
Lara Croft.
I don't know.
I should have
Anyways.
prefaced that joke better. I'm sorry.
Okay, I understood your reference.
Next time.
That's pretty much all I got for God of War.
Yeah,
Not God of War, Gears of War.
Gears of War.
Next up, the one that I thought was out of all the Microsoft ones. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Yeah. So out of all the Microsoft ones, this is the one that I had the most interest in.
Uh-huh.
One of the top two. And
Uh-huh.
it's Cyberpunk 2077.
Oh my god, yes.
Mm.
Okay, so it looks like they took Crackdown, spun it off, colorized it, remechanicked it, kept a lot of the same feature-esque playability types, but added much more non-grindiness to it, like more story. And that's what Cyberpunk 77 looks like.
Danny just exploded in the chat. All right. I'm really gonna have to. I'm gonna have to try and not be offended that you
Talking
Put-
about Crackdown.
put Crackdown and Cyberpunk in the same category because they are not.
I know they're not. I said they had aspects of it.
Ah,
what it came- what
I'm
it
not.
was.
I'm
Well-
not even gonna say that, dude. Like.
Well,
oh my
it is.
God.
It is a dystopian futurescape that is somewhat safe in the daytime and really rude and naughty at night. And I'm interested in Cyberpunk. Like, it is probably close to being the game of E3 for me.
Yeah,
And
pretty
not
close.
just from the trailer that they showed, which the trailer was phenomenal. But I watched a lot of interviews afterwards with some of the development heads, and a lot of people were talking about the 45-minute demo that they watched
Uh-huh.
after, throughout E3, and talked about how amazing it looks and how amazing it looked like it could play. And the promise of that game seems spectacular.
Yeah.
I think I saw someone describe it as being like a more colorized and well thought out Deus Ex. Like the universe reminded is more Deus Ex.
I haven't played
I
Deus
could
Ex,
see that
so
better
I can't
than
attest to that.
Crackdown.
I have it
Jesus.
downloaded to play.
Crackdown,
but-
really? But yeah. Oh, it looks really good. As someone who really enjoys novels like Snow Crash, this is like right up my alley. Cheers if you've ever read. Good lord, read Snow Crash. It's a great cyberpunk novel.
I feel like it's the first.
It might be, yeah.
At least I read it with that in mind. But yeah, it just looks so cool, and because it's by the studio that brought you The Witcher, you just know that there's going to be an interesting story in it. You know there's going to be really cool gameplay mechanics with it. You know that this guy won't die. You know that you'll be able to... All those people who are fiending for some romance that you're not going to find in BioWare's latest, you know, they got you covered. There's going to be a little bit of romance here.
Yeah?
Just good stuff.
Oh, it's going to be so
Yeah,
good.
all in all, the trailer didn't show a whole lot, but what it did showed a lot of promise.
It definitely set the universe, and people were
Yes.
like wondering about the universe since they decided that they were going to call it Cyberpunk 2077 and showed off the original trailer, which was essentially just a scantily clad woman with blade arms getting shot by some mercenary.
Yeah. It's like, not a lot to draw from here, but
Yeah.
we'll run
Yeah.
with it.
I think you'll be able to actually get to blade arms yourself. The part that I'm actually most interested in is that car.
Oh,
I
yeah!
want to see, like, the first time
What
you
can
see it. Is
that
it going to
thing
be?
do?
That thing is like straight out of Blade Runner, right?
Yeah,
Basically.
yeah, it's pretty much what hit my mind when I saw that car.
Yeah.
Well, I'm about to my first cosplay will be that car. I'm going to get my money back.
Just be the
I'm going to
car.
mod it out,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm going to drive it to a con.
And just park out front, get a VIP thing, and just say, here, park it out front.
Park
You
it out
need to
front.
you need to cut those like ridges or like cyber lines in your hair, like on the across the side of your hair, and have like
Oh, yeah.
like neon purple sunglasses, right? And some like
Yeah.
leather pants and a leather jacket that says samurai across the back, and just hang out
But the
there.
jacket needs to be pearlescent. It
Yeah.
needs to be like a pearlescent purple.
It seems as if somebody has gotten through our area.
Yeah.
But after Cyberpunk, they hit us with a surprise, at least a surprise for me, which was Devil May Cry.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, Devil May Cry has always looked cool. That's their
As I was
deal.
about to say.
They
That's
always
their
look
deal.
cool. I am
But they
vaguely tired of them having some token character with a southern accent that's really good in like a very specific thing. Speak in a very token southern accent that Japanese people think might be cool. I don't know. It's just tired. I'm done with it. Like Cindy from Final Fantasy 15 was
Yeah,
too much.
she-
Like that was
Over the
nuts.
top.
Like that was way
Over
too
the
much
top.
southern accent. I'm from the south. This is how I speak, all right? So calm down.
Now, I will admit I have extended family that do talk with that level of draw.
Oh
but
yeah, absolutely.
That is
I
not
can
to say that
don't get me
a video
wrong.
game needed that level of draw.
I can call on that if I want to. But that's not how I talk all the time.
Oh my god, it's funny. Yeah, they laid it on pretty thick.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't play Devil May Cry 4, even though I wanted to. But they succeeded in this trailer in making Nero look cool. I
Yeah?
wasn't really the biggest Nero fan. I just wanted to play Dante. I know I'm that person. But no, they succeeded in making Nero look pretty cool. So now I'm like, oh, maybe I will pick this game up.
Maybe I will give Nero a shot.
I mean, more power
I'll
to
give it a
you.
shot. Give me a whoa crap. Give me a devil arm, robot devil arm, and we'll see what we can
That
do.
the Southern lady made,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
To kick demon
Definitely
ass.
as she says.
Yeah.
Quote.
There was more than one double arm appearing in this
Oh, yeah.
E3.
Mm-hmm.
It was the
Two of them.
zombie bear of 2018.
Yeah. Yes. Way to bring back Zombie Bear for 2018.
Oh yeah.
How soon we forget.
Oh, we won't forget because Metro Exodus is coming out the same day as
Never
Anthem.
forget.
Metro
that's the game.
Exodus. Oh my god, yes. I'm going to be playing that when I'm not playing Anthem. It's going to be so much fun. I cannot wait. It's one of those like small pleasures I have in the world is Metro. It's just quiet and alone by itself, and it works out really well. It's a nice little self-contained story filled with like badassery in a near Fallout-esque world where everybody's Russian and there are somehow gargoyles that fly around. And it's weird, you know. I like it.
As gargoyles do. Ooh.
Yeah.
You almost said gargles.
As gargles do.
Oh, the gargles! I'm being eaten by a gargle.
It's gonna take a while to digest you. All right. Anyway.
Kick some demon ass.
Ass.
Oh god.
Specifically made that demon arm so he could kick some ass. Come on now, really?
The next one up would be Sekiro.
Oh, we're
right.
following with the demon arm thread here.
Yeah,
yes, we are.
He did have a bit of a bony arm there that was still attached to him and moved under some magical force. So yeah, I think we'll go with it being a demon arm, and it looked pretty interesting and pretty reminiscent of the way he like slung himself around and did combos, kind of like in a Ninja Gaiden way. But it wasn't. I don't know. It was just interesting, and it looked like it had a pretty good story potential.
Well, I'm going to have to warn you that it's a From Software game, and From Software makes Dark Souls. So if you're expecting to have a nice light time with this game, you're not gonna. Okay?
Yeah, if it's from the makers of Dark Souls, I will probably double think that.
Yeah.
That won't stop me from watching it.
I have something to say about that because I watched one of the interviews with this group.
Oh yeah.
And they did. Oh wait, was it this group or was it the guys who made Bloodborne?
It's the same guys. Those are the same guys.
Okay.
From Software. It's all From Software.
That's all them. Okay, I just want to make sure that I said this right. They did mention that this is not as heavily. Their combat is not as heavily weighted as their other games, and this is more of an action RPG.
Oh, okay.
You can take with that, what you will. I'm sure there will still be some really intensive combat in the game, but they themselves have said that it is lighter fare.
Okay.
So instead of playable for experts like Dark Souls, it'll be playable for semi-professionals.
Semi-professionals will love this game. 10 out of 10.
Well, I know people that will list Dark Souls as their favorite game and then follow that up by saying, man, I was stuck on this one boss that made me so angry that I snapped my controller in half. So, like, somebody has actually told me that before, that, like, oh, Dark Souls is so good. I broke a controller in half with my bare hands because I was so mad that I couldn't get past this boss. Yeah, I'm gonna like keep that at arm's length until I actually, know what's up with that game. I'm not gonna give it any due,
really
So next on the list is actually this one impressed me. I really love the trailer for it. I really enjoyed listening to the people talk about it. Just Cause 4.
Oh yeah, the tornado simulator.
Tornadoes on the small island. It looked cool, guys.
It did look cool.
I honestly didn't put any notes next to Just Cause because it's Just Cause. Just Cause 4.
God damn it!
You blow everything up. Like,
just cause.
That's just the way it is. You just do it just cause. So you just go around and destroy everything, and they give you a tiny little plot to ever so thread-like, weave you to a general direction, but that's not going to stop you from doing everything else. So yeah, it's Just Cause. That's pretty much all there is to it.
I mean, they did say that they worked around on the grapple shooter a little bit so that it has more utility. I know that's something that people that play Just Cause really enjoy, is grappling things to other things.
Oh, yeah.
And more power to them. But I've never really played one, nor am I particularly interested in them, to be honest. So just go do your thing.
it looks like this entry pulled a little bit from the last Metal Gear in terms of having like your balloons that you can attach to things and then send them off. And I think they also mentioned, I don't know if you guys noticed this, there's a part of the trailer where Rico, I almost said Rico Suave, Rico Rodriguez turns and looks at the camera, and then the female character that he was talking to turns and looks behind her really confused. So maybe there's going to be some fourth wall breaking in the game. Maybe there's going to be some interesting narrative stuff that they're going to do. Maybe it's going to be super funny. I don't know. I'm probably not going to play Just Cause 4, but I was certainly impressed because I've never paid attention to Just Cause before.
Yeah. Plus the tornado looked really cool. I mean, it was picking up everything, and throwing everything around.
Tornado.
You know.
Tornado.
Ugh. Yeah. Perfect, like late '90s style environmental disaster movies. It was perfect.
Is the weather system, is that tornado your main antagonist? Stay tuned to find out.
Danny says, I played Just Cause 3 and it is just chaos.
Yeah, I mean, you grapple things, you blow them up, you go grapple some other stuff, and you blow up a bunch of stuff, destroy a city, kill a bunch of people, make other people happy, and you move on to the next thing you'll blow up. With either squirrel suit, jetpack, jet plane,
Squirrel
car.
suit?
Yeah.
Like a Mario style squirrel
no,
suit?
like the glider suits, the body glider suits.
Oh.
And then they
A
kinda
wing
showed
suit.
him, like, wingsuit, squirrel suit, yeah, kind of same thing.
Okay.
I've heard him called both.
Squirrel suit.
Yeah,
Never heard it
flying
squirrel
squirrels.
suit. Oh well.
Really? Like
Yeah,
flying squirrels,
never have.
squirrel suit? Yeah. Maybe it's just me then. We can skip one game in like a single sentence. Forza Horizon 4, race car, vroom vroom. Moving
Looks
on.
cool. Won't play. Moving on.
Yeah,
Looks
very
cool.
crisp. New
Won't play.
cars, neato.
Yeah. That being said, I
uh,
think I'm going to be picking up the Crew 2 later because, reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that,
Dying
look at that.
Light 2.
Looks
Very
cool.
interesting.
Won't
is the next
play.
one. And I've got to say that I like the cause and effect consequence layers of the game and how many different layers that they have for the game of its size.
Yeah.
It looks like there is quite a bit of change that can happen in the game depending on what you do, which, in my opinion, gives it hearty replayability. The only kind of thing that turns me off from a game like this is that the amount of effort you have to put into a game to see all the different kinds of endings is a lot more than I kind of want to play from what I think the game will hold my interest for. So at some point it's going to be like you're grinding through basically the same thing that you know exactly how to do except for this one decision point, and then afterwards, if you've played it enough, it'll be sort of the same thing, only you'll be fighting different people.
Yeah. I mean, I think the best game to say that they did that already and to a large extent would be Fable, because you can quite literally change the entire world while playing through Fable. So I wasn't super impressed that they decided, oh yeah, it's in the game and it's new and cool that your decisions change the way the world looks, because I've experienced that. I've experienced that on the original Xbox. It's not no big deal, you know?
I
Well,
think what they were
me-
really trying to advertise that they didn't quite pitch all the way was the scale and time length of how far your decisions affect is probably the newness to it, to a degree, but they didn't push it very hard. They just kind of like, oh yeah, your decisions will change. Like, how much will they change? Probably the gravity of how much changes is probably a lot more than they showed.
I don't know. We'll see.
I think what I'm most interested in is the fact that, I've never played Dying Light before, but I understand that mechanically that the game was very much a hit. The gameplay was great, the gunplay was great, it had some of the best parkouring you could have in a game at that time period. And now they're actually going back and hooking a story to good
Okay, that's what I
mechanics.
remember sort of turned me off was I didn't buy a game to play Mirror's Edge. I wanted to play a game to like actually have some stuff happen instead of me parkour around.
This was
that's,
Mirror's
that's
Edge
what
with
I remember.
zombies,
It kind of turned me
Arcadius.
off of that game was that, huh?
This is Mirror's Edge with zombies, Arcadius.
Yeah, just throw zombies on everything and it'll sell.
Really hard to kill zombies at that.
Oh yeah.
But now that they do have a story, I'm interested to see from an observer standpoint, can you do that? Can you take a great game, a great gameplay base game, and then attach a story and consequences into it and still maintain like that, and progress the story that way? Because in my personal experience, you can't really do it that way. You have to have part and parcel.
Yeah.
Someone save me because I can't get that phrase down.
Yeah. I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
but yeah, I'll kind of reserve until the game comes out and see what happens with that, but it doesn't come off as a game that I'd like to really spend a lot of time in.
Yeah,
Man,
I
maybe
think
just
it's
not my cup of
Xbox
tea.
exclusive, so we
There
wouldn't
you
really
go.
be doing
That
it
seals
anyway.
that deal.
So, yeah.
I forgot to keep track of which ones were the exclusives.
Don't worry, there weren't many. Zing!
There weren't that many.
Yeah, haha! We'll be here all the time.
Yep.
Well, while we're in the middle of the zing, we're gonna keep on moving, but I'm going to ask that we take a very quick popcorn break.
Ah, okay. That's fair with me. Are we safe? Are we in a little safe area? It's good, because I need to pee really bad. I had like 4 glasses of tea at dinner. Hold on.
Popcorn. We'll be back in a second, guys.
All right, I'm back. We can keep going.
Beat.
Is Vaster?
No, she's not back yet.
Oh, damn it. All right. So, Danny, how's God of War treating you? How do you like it? I know that you already said you enjoyed it, but like, oh my God, is that game good? You killed any Valkyries yet? We got to know.
Have you beat the story yet?
Such a good game.
Yeah, it is.
She says, just love it. Hip, 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 hip. So the reason why we're doing this little pause is because we're going to break it up for Dash Radio so that they get 1 hour chunk one week and then another hour chunk next week. So we won't have to produce 2 different things.
Yeah.
Oh my God. She says, I got all the trophies yesterday. Holy dicks.
Jeez.
Good Lord.
Wow,
Okay.
Not even I've gotten there yet.
Wow.
Finding those stupid ravens is gonna be the chore. 'cause I got most
Danny
of them, but I'm
Danny
missing
has
a few,
all
but-
of the trophies in God of War.
Yeah, she platinumed to the game.
Yeah. She crushed
Danny.
it, dude.
Well, I'm
Apparently
not
she likes
surprised.
it a lot.
I mean, who are we talking about, though? Are we talking about Danny? Then yeah.
Yeah.
What took you so long, girl?
What's taking you, Vess?
Yeah, that's what I
I'm
really want to
busy.
know. The hanger
Uh-huh,
here is not
uh-huh.
Danny. I mean, for God's sakes, Danny has started behind you and finished before you.
I think she finished that
But
in
let me-
like 4 or 5 days too, which is
That's
nuts.
a binge. That's
That's
a serious
nuts.
binge.
That's dedication. I've been painting.
Expressing yourself, I see.
Yes.
yourself.
So I guess we're going to go ahead and say welcome back to our E3 coverage.
Yeah.
We're still in the middle of Microsoft, but we're going to tear through the rest of these because there's so many good games and commentary that we can bring to you, the comfort of your own couch.
Or wherever you may be.
Or
Stuck in traffic.
Or
Fighting
At
with
work.
your girlfriend. You know, with us in the background.
Because you can still listen to this while fighting with her.
Oh,
so
yeah,
we're all
absolutely.
right with it.
Keep your temper
we
down.
actually
If you get mad,
bring
you lose,
people
alright?
together. This is true.
So don't get mad. Just listen to us.
Yes, indeed. Our sultry voices.
Okay, so we're down to, was it Jump Force?
Yeah. Okay. The only thing I have to say about this game is main anime character hodgepodge of destruction, and that's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Take all the main anime characters within the last many years, put them all together in a video game, and just have them duke it out. That's it. That's it.
Hey guys,
is the
do you
strongest?
like Tekken? Hey guys, do you like anime? Hey guys, Jump Force! Done.
Jump Force.
And that's about all there is to say about
That's
that.
it.
Just go watch a video if you really want to know more.
Yeah,
about
that's
who's
really
in
it.
Because just imagine every major character that ever has been that's in it.
You ever...
But who's strongest? We need to know.
Yeah, you ever got into an argument with your one no-life otaku friend who thinks that Monkey D. Luffy is stronger than Goku? Now you can figure out who
And
is
find out
really
that Goku
stronger.
Is the one. Anyways, next after this one is in fact Crackdown. Crackdown 5, I believe.
Delayed
Crackdown
down
3.
3?
It's
I'm
3.
confusing 5
It
with
was
another one,
supposed to
and-
be a launch title for the Xbox One, wasn't it?
Yes, it was supposed to be a launch title, and it got delayed.
For reference, you guys, Xbox One and PlayStation 4 came out in 2013.
Yep.
So
It is what year?
Long time
it's
ago.
been 5 years, and Crackdown has not come out yet. We're staring at you, Borderlands 3. What the fuck?
Eh.
Yeah.
Okay, that trailer, I can break it down in one statement. Terry Crews.
Terry Crews. Crackdown. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Done. We can keep going.
Yep. Cuphead DLC. I think Danny's about the only one that could chime in on this one.
No, Vass played it.
I did.
Bass
I
played it.
Cuphead,
I don't
Yeah.
remember you
Poorly.
talking about it at all.
because I was too embarrassed. That game is hard, but not to break down Cuphead again, but it plays on all of your platforming experience, and then says, "Ha ha." Now all the things that you learned since childhood are going to get you killed. And
But
so
it's
that
going
game
to
got
be,
me the
you know,
hardest.
it's going to be whimsical and, merry melodies you all the way to death.
Basically.
With undertones of Dark Souls with a different skin.
But I was really excited to see that they do have DLC. They have a new character coming. They have new boss battles to get wrecked.
Was it
to.
Chalice? Lady Chalice or whatever that
Miss
was?
Something like that.
Miss Chalice? Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
The
She
chalice.
looks super
Instead of a
cute.
cup, instead
New
of a mug, it's a
Cupsonas
chalice.
all around.
Cupsona.
You know it's a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'm repping for
absolutely.
you, fandom. Cupsonas.
The
Get 'em while they're hot.
Cupsonas.
Next up, we'll be going down nostalgia lane with Battletoads.
Oh man, I was not expecting this. Who was expecting Battletoads?
Not this guy.
The people that really like Battletoads are expecting it. I think they pulled for
But
it
that would
every
mean
single
they
E3.
expect it every year.
Yeah.
And now finally they're like, all right, we can put our anxiety to rest. It's happened. The day has come.
I still remember playing Battletoads on my cousin's. Maybe it was their Sega Genesis. Like when
Oh, I
was
played
a
in the
bitty
arcade.
thing.
Yeah.
That's where I played Battletoads.
The quarter
arcade.
eater.
Oh yeah, I devoured some quarters through Battletoads. I'll admit it.
They had the coolest pause music, and the pause music really wasn't music. It was just like hand stomps or hand claps and foot stomps. But it was pretty cool.
I never played it. Yeah. Meh.
It's just
Battletoads is
honestly,
coming back.
Arcade levels of enjoyment is about what it was.
We're playing on your nostalgia and your, rabid tendencies, gamer audience. Here's some more Battletoads.
Next up would be Session, which Tony Hawk reskin,
I
boring. I
mean,
hate those kinds of games. Some
everyone
people like them.
everyone was expecting Skate 4 because Skate, obviously, it's the
Yeah.
leading skateboard title right now. And they just recently, we haven't mentioned this at all, but they just recently restarted the Skate 3 servers, the online servers again. So they were
Mm.
That's interesting.
people were wondering what the deal was. But it's Session. And props to them, putting Eminem in the trailer. That was really cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, other than that, I left my digital skateboarding days behind a long time ago.
Yeah.
Come
Tony
back
Hawk was
to
about
me.
what I played them on, and that was about it. The
Look,
first
all I
Tony
want is
Hawk.
another SSX. Bring me that, and
Oh,
then we'll
dude,
talk.
snowboarding was so cool. I liked it.
It was.
It was
was.
awesome.
Okay. The next one I found funny, and I couldn't help chuckle the whole time I watched it, which was Tunic. Basically, if Link from Zelda was a fox, that's what this game is.
It looks super cute. It looks so
Yeah,
cute.
I know. It's it's like an adorable level Link from Zelda.
Yeah?
That's it. If Link was a fox, a cute chibi fox.
I
And
don't
he found
know.
a little sword that he could slash around and destroy his polygon world with.
I don't really have much to say about this game. I don't know anything about it. It looks
Nope.
it looks
Like
really
I said,
cute,
it looks just like Zelda.
but that's it. That's
Yeah,
all I can say.
It's here. There's some young players who have an Xbox.
Yeah.
Let them have fun with it. That's what I say.
Yeah.
Yep.
If
Alright,
they can
next
tear it
game-
away from their man-child fathers that play Call of Duty.
This is true. You gotta fight for that time.
All right, next.
Next would be Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Oh, this one looks good. I have some friends, or I have a friend who's super excited about this.
I can't say I'm a 2D player type fan. Like, that's just not my game type. However, this one does look pretty good. And
Yeah?
it looks like it's gentle on the soul as far as story
Oh,
goes.
it will not be. Ori stories are tearjerkers.
Oh yeah, they're gonna.
Well-
they're
Do not
Playing
think you're
Ori
going
stories
in
to
there
have a
for a
good
light
time.
ride, okay? It's
Oh,
going to
man.
hurt your soul.
Yeah.
All right. Well, be prepared, folks.
Yeah.
I did not
Be
play
prepared.
the original Ori, but I have played the studio's other games. Like I played Dust, the Elysian Tale, and one other game that they have I can't think of right now. And they put together really good games. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that this one sold well enough that it got a sequel. I'm glad that they can continue to develop because they make some worthy things. And pick it up if you need a good cry.
Yeah.
Next up would be Sea of Thieves DLC, Snore. I don't know. I just Sea of Thieves doesn't look fun at all.
Well,
All right, so I want to talk about this. But,
go for it.
All right,
Do it.
go
Do it
for
up.
Okay.
You have the floor.
All right, so I'm really interested in this because at this point in time, Sea of Thieves has a pretty dedicated fan base, and they're sitting on 91 million hours played,
Yeah.
total game time played.
I'm shocked.
Yeah. So I'm really interested to see if they can maintain and then expand on, again, this game's promise. I sound like a broken record, but it sounds like they do have a roadmap. And so I listened to one of their interviews, and they had like maybe 4 or 5 people from the studio up there talking, and they referenced their previous expansion called the Hungering Deep.
Yeah.
And they mentioned that because of certain gameplay mechanics that they introduced into the game, they actually have metrics that showed, in essence, that pre-Hungering Deep, like there was a lot of griefing, a lot of just direct player combats, and it was really, really annoying to the people who were just there to explore and just there to be pirate buddies and find treasure
Yeah.
and play around in that beautiful, beautiful ocean. After they released the new mechanics in the Hungering Deep, they saw player aggression or reduce, and maybe player friendliness to each other increase by 50%
Wow.
That's nice.
within their game.
I
So
like
they
that.
actually have
People literally
ideas.
got bored of killing each other because there was something to do. Like, that should be
So there
telling
was
you.
something to do. And so it was just really interesting to listen to them talk about this, to listen to them talk about how they're incorporating player feedback, like in their next expansion, whose name escapes me. I can't remember. Ugh, so terrible. But they are introducing a 3-player ship. So they have the sloop that's good for 1 to 2 players, and they have the galleon, which is a 4-player ship. They said that they had 3 people on there, but it's really difficult to maintain. So they introduced maybe it was a brigand, which is going to be the 3-player ship. So if you just have 2 friends, you can 3-man a ship in that world. They also talked about within the next expansion, they're bringing in new gameplay mechanics, and they kind of outlined like, what do we do? How do we come together and decide what we're going to put into the game? And they've mentioned that they have 3 main categories to play towards, like you hear about user stories when it comes to software development and stuff like that. So they have like 3 main users that they're considering, and they have like 3 aspects of things that they add to the game. So if you are the explorer, we'll have this trail of things, a journey. If you're there just for a journey, we'll always have items and gameplay mechanics that just goes through this one path. If you're there to face challenges and threats in the game, we'll have these things. And so in the next expansion, the threat is going to be the environment. And so they're introducing volcanic island and new skeletal ships that'll attack you, and they have like cursed bombs and stuff, or cursed cannonballs and stuff like that. And then the last path, I can't recall right now because I'm so excited to listen to developers talk about how they put things together. So yeah, I'm actually interested. And again, this is one of those things like, I'm not going to go out and say we should totally play this game, unlike Deep Rock
Galactic.
Dwarf Mayhem Galactic.
Deep Rock Galactic.
Yes, Deep Rock Galactic. I totally think we should play this. But I am interested in seeing how this game progresses, because it looks like the team actually has plans. It does not look like this team just released a game with nothing in store for the people just because they had to. It looks like they actually do have game mechanics in the running to bring the game up to where it should be.
That's great.
So that's good. I wish we can release games in a fit state, but at least they're not going to let it flounder. And that's exciting to me for the people who have been playing like 21, 30, 50, 100 hours.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's all I have to say.
Well, I don't have anything to add after that. I've never played it. Probably won't ever. But, yeah, we got other things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
What's next on their list?
That would be the collection of the multiple acquired 5 studios that Microsoft obtained. I don't think there's anything necessarily super special.
Exclusive.
Other than the fact that people are now part of the Microsoft Club.
Well, the one of note that I will note here is that Microsoft has purchased Ninja Theory. And Ninja Theory is the group behind Heavenly Sword, if you've ever played Heavenly Sword, and they also are behind Hellblade. And Hellblade won all kinds of awards as an indie title. Mm-hmm. And they now have some Microsoft now has some serious story teeth if they want some story in with their mindless carnage.
As long as they don't pull an EA and trounce all over it, yeah.
So here's why I was really interested about them acquiring Ninja Theory. You know that like the year that Horizon Zero Dawn was released, there was that game posting, like creative director position or something like that, that was open that said something like, "Would you like to build the next Horizon Zero Dawn?" Like, we know that is something that Microsoft wants to do. They want to make an open world, single player, story driven game.
Why wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But like I feel like just going backwards a little bit, that Horizon Zero Dawn did to the game industry what Breath of the Wild did to the game industry, which people who played it, who are industry people, loved playing that game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it invigorated people in a way. I certainly know from the games that I've recently played, because like Warframe went out and built their own open world, and it was partly because of those two games I just referenced. Like it invigorated people. So I'm wondering, them acquiring the studio is this studio going to be helming that initiative for them?
Probably.
Might
Make a long
be.
story short.
Might be.
There is high chance.
I'm all for
Speculation
it.
abounds in the
Yeah,
speculation zone.
absolutely. Go for it. I'm all for good stories. It doesn't matter what platform they're on. If you can make a good story and you can make it compelling, more power to you. Absolutely. Go for it.
The pinnacle of game enjoyment, in my
Yep.
opinion. Next up, we're pretty much now swinging in Bethesda.
Woo! Bethesda! Yes! Yes, 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 yes! That's like...
We have been waiting for this moment.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's my home turf right there, Bethesda. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay.
First off, punting in Bethesda is Rage 2.
Rage. No, they're not punting, all right? They never punt. It's Bethesda, all right? Calm down.
Rage going all the way.
Rage 2. I'm going to be playing Rage 2. It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like way more over the top than the first one.
Would Rage 2 be comparable, since I've played neither that or the other one, to a Far Cry style of gameplay?
It's more like crazy, ridiculous violence than Far Cry.
Well, then I can see why you'd want to play it.
I was listening to some of the devs talk about Rage, the original, when they're referencing Rage 2, their project, and they said that, they really enjoyed that Rage kind of had edges of over-the-top violence, and you could really see where they were going with the idea, but it wasn't as like crazily over the top as this one, as well as the fact that in the first Rage they really utilized all of the color brown in their color palette.
I saw that one.
And they're going to do more colors than just the entire spectrum of brown again.
Don't say.
Which is great to hear, and we can hit the Division while we talk about that too. But oh my god, it looks fun. id Software and Avalanche are working on it, and id Software does Doom, so the gunplay is going to be great. And the only thing I know about Avalanche is that their PR guy is about 8 feet tall.
He is.
How appropriate.
But Avalanche, they did the Mad Max game. Am I correct in saying that?
Maybe. We're gonna have to double check that.
I can double check that real quick, but
Okay.
I do know that they are known for making massive open world games. They spoke a little bit to that, and the guy who you're talking, Magnus, I think his name was, he mentioned that, they don't like to quantify their maps, as saying, this is the biggest map we've ever done, because that was said a lot at this year's E3.
Oh yeah.
But he said something along the lines of, they like to talk about it in terms of progression, and so that while you're along the way, that there are plenty of things for you to do on this huge open world map. And in that respect, this is a very large map.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. But this is all about them maps, man. Can't tell them no.
You mentioned it. Doom Eternal is the next one up.
Doom Eternal. If you like Doom, next Doom, done.
Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Moving on.
I don't really have much to say about Doom. It looks cool. I imagine it's going to be furiously paced, just like the latest iteration of Doom is. It's going to be fun.
Next one would be basically kind of like a DLC content release for Prey.
Yeah,
so
Prey Moon Crash. So this sounds like they've got a map on the moon, and it's procedural, whatever you find, and
yep,
all of the stuff
time.
changes every single time you play, and they're touting infinite replayability in that respect.
So Prey with a twist,
and it'll be cool. It'll absolutely be cool. I'm not gonna go back and play it. I'm sorry, you guys. It's not. I can't. I'm sorry. The original Prey story was tied off so well, and
Any continuation would do it injustice.
Well, I don't think that the way that they're working on Moon Crash is fitting with the way Prey worked out as a game, as a story.
Okay, I'll buy that.
Yeah. Other than that, yeah. That's all I have to say about that. Anybody else have anything?
No, oh, just that I really enjoyed their presentation. They seem like some really cool people who were super excited at the success of their game, and they weren't afraid to be funny or try to be funny. So
you just cut out, Vast.
I know, I don't know why, but I like their presentation, is what I said.
Okay.
All
right.
Wolfenstein Youngblood.
Killing Nazis. You can never kill enough Nazis. All right, kill all them Nazis. Okay.
You still can't kill enough.
Kill Nazis.
And now we get to a more meatier one, which would be Fallout 76.
Oh boy, where to begin on this one? You can shoot nukes at people, you guys.
You literally have the nuclear launch codes.
Yeah. That being said, what they said was that it was going to be really, really hard to actually assemble launch codes.
It's probably challenging and very cooperative play engaging to do and accomplish, but I'm certain that they're making it worth your while because you get a tactical nuke to then destroy the city of your choosing that has treated you the worst. Or just any particular place in general that you're like, screw all the people in this spot and just nuke them out of existence.
Well, they did say, because I started listening to more dev stuff, thank you, Vast, for being a positive influence on me.
Yeah,
I started to listen to more dev stuff, and they talked about, I specifically listened to what they said about players in an instance and how nukes worked. And because that's kind of worrisome to a lot of people, thinking that, like there are multiple people on this map and we're just going to have to worry about nukes raining down on, griefers getting launch codes.
That they separated the nuke fallout and destruction with just the AI in the world. I honestly thought that they're excluding all the player base with regards to the nukes.
Nope, they're specifically player-driven are all the nukes.
Player-driven to activate and use, but the actual damage and repercussions would be world and AI only. Is that not the case?
Well, if you're in the blast area of a nuke, you certainly die.
Yeah, but the ones that get launched in-game, like they're just going to go ahead and count that as damage dealing to all people in the instance?
Yeah. Well, to the area that they're inside. Yeah, we have to keep in mind that Fallout 76 is 4 times larger than Fallout 4. So you're not going to be, like, annihilated with the nuke across the map.
And he also said that there's not going to be a giant horde of people in your instance. I think he said 12.
Yeah, they said that they're working on, because they're still tweaking those numbers, they said that they're working on an instance between 12 and 24 people. So if you're spreading out, like 24 people across an area that is 4 times larger than Fallout 4, you're probably not going to be running into a whole bunch of people the way you would like a Battlefield map or something like that, where there's
where it'd be like 20 steps,
where there's 60 people on.
Glorious.
But that's not really the way you'd want your Fallout to work.
That level of chaos is glorious.
It's a lot of fun. Wish it wasn't in World War II.
Yeah, well, we can't have everything.
Yeah. I'm still like Danny, who said that they're afraid of people griefing, so they'll wait. I'm also going to wait on Fallout. I'm not going to be purchasing it right away. I'm probably going to be playing in the beta, but
let the news and people flesh it out a little bit. Let time do its thing.
I'm just going to let them see what's up and see what's going on.
I mean, with the digital age of digital copies of games, you can get it. It's at your fingertips. It's not going to dissolve away and, oh, sorry, store's out. You got to come back next week when we get a new shipment in. Those days are gone. They don't exist. So that being the case, pre-ordering is more hype than anything else, and obviously it's to the developer's benefit to get that money up front before the game's even released. But yeah, I don't see a problem at all in waiting.
Yeah.
If you're patient. Some people are impatient and they can't wait.
Oof. Boy.
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting to have a multiplayer game in a Fallout universe. The universe is structured such that you could essentially form whatever game you wanted. And now they're working on that, and it's cool. I'm very interested to see where this goes. I just don't know if I want to be part of that universe.
Any of the Fallout games, I can say that Bethesda's done a pretty good job of trying to make Fallout purely a player enjoyable experience at the expense of what Bethesda wants to do with the game themselves, if that makes sense. Like they have a drive and a goal towards something, but they don't let the drive and goal detract in any way from the enjoyment that the community gets from Fallout. If they have a goal on something, but the community really prefers a different direction, they drop what they're doing and respond more instantaneously to community input than most other developers do. And I have to give Bethesda credit to that, because that's exactly what the culmination of Fallout looks like when they're done with it.
They also openly accept mods to their world too, and a lot of the content, a lot of the lifespan of all of the Bethesda games comes from the modding community, and the fact that they let people do that is a real mark in their favor, I think.
Yeah, you're like, all right, we've made a game, we really enjoyed it, everyone has, and if you get bored with it, here's the developer kit to just have fun with it, screw around, make videos, make some people laugh, have some people come join in your hijinks. At that point, it's a screw-around game, and people actually really enjoy that. So
I don't know how far that's going to get in a multiplayer game like Fallout 76, because the mods would definitely change.
Might be less of it, but I don't think it's going to stop it. But again, Bethesda being Bethesda, they're going to have some aspect of it that'll be positive for it.
I hope so. I'm looking forward to it.
I think so.
Yeah. What else did they have? They had Starfield. They had Elder Scrolls 6.
I don't know what to think about Starfield. It's too short of a video to know anything about it.
This is like years and years in the future. They just wanted to announce that, yes, you've speculated correctly, and we're working on a game. That it's called Starfield, and it's a sci-fi shooter that's a single-player game, which is essentially what they said. And then they said that... what did they say about it? I just completely lost that sentence. I'm sorry.
No,
don't know.
Fine.
I don't know where that went.
There wasn't much to it. Not a lot of meat. So
yeah.
They did mention Todd. I think Todd Howard in an interview mentioned, or maybe it was the other guy whose name I can't think of right now, but mentioned that they showed Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6. Was it 6?
Yeah, it was 6.
All right. At Elder Scrolls 6, in order of appearance. So they're both being developed, and they will appear, Starfield will come first, and then, I will fix this in a second. Starfield will come first, and then Elder Scrolls will come next. And I think Scorch and I were speculating that this is probably going to be next console, next gen.
I mean, I think they've clarified and said that Starfield is going to come within the lifespan of this generation of games, of this generation of consoles, but it might be dual console. I think we're looking at an extremely late 19, most likely middle 2020 release for Starfield, which puts it in line for dual console.
So as a reminder again, when was the next gen console slated to be released?
Around 2020.
Okay. So yeah, it's in ripe dual console territory.
Yeah. And there's Elder Scrolls 6, and everybody went crazy about Elder Scrolls 6, and
I
understandably.
really like the funny video they put together with that, where
Oh.
Alexa was trying to play be the
Skyrim?
for Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
You could do that too. Like
Yeah.
they
I
actually
know, but it
released
is
it on
just
Alexa.
super funny.
They actually
I
put
liked
that.
it.
They put that functionality in. So
I
you
think
can.
Alexa's creepy AF, so I would never do that. But yeah, I think it's clever that
Essentially,
they
she
did it.
becomes your DM for a D&D game at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
is
creepy
kinda
one.
cool.
Arcadius, you've ever played D&D? Most DMs are creepy as shit. So don't.
Well, Alexa's
Don't
got
worry
some
about
extra creepiness being an AI, so yeah.
Why am I not hitting anything anymore? That's interesting.
I stopped doing damage.
To this guy, yeah. What's the deal?
I don't know. I'll switch up here.
There we go. We got him.
That was really weird. Something didn't catch up. Anyways.
So people are already speculating, as they are wont to do in Elder Scrolls, that it's Hammerfell, and that's on the west coast of Tamriel, and that's where the Red Guards are from,
Nerds.
and they have curved
mean-
swords.
Ooh.
I mean, sure, yeah, you can call me that. That's fine.
That's funny. No, that's just the perfect time. That's the perfect place to do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm really excited about them developing another Elder Scrolls game.
Yeah, I mean, we
It's gonna make
knew
a
they
lot
were
of people
doing it.
happy.
No secrets.
Yeah.
Only happiness
pretty
given
much-
to the people.
Yeah.
That's all the Bethesda games actually. That
Yeah.
wraps up Bethesda.
Their
Next
press
up
conference
would be
was a bit
Sony.
odd. Their
Central-
Bethesda.
The way that they centrally did it, I thought it was
Well,
pretty good.
I mean, they started off with a performance by Andrew WK, and not a single
Oh, you mean
person
the
in the
extras.
audience was like in any way wanting a performance by Andrew WK. They're like, all right, get to the games.
Yeah.
Like, that's
Oh,
all they
it's just
One
wanted.
of those things.
Yeah.
Fun fact: Andrew WK is actually voicing a character in the game.
In Rage?
Probably
cool.
why he was in it.
Yeah, he so I don't know if you saw the pre-order thing, but they have like a I don't even know what the character archetype is, but like a big ogre type character.
Uh-huh.
You get his head mounted on a plaque.
Oh,
like a
yeah,
talking
Ruckus,
bass.
I think is his name.
Ruckus. That's
Oh.
exactly it. Andrew WK is voicing Ruckus for that pre-order toy and also in the game.
That's
Oh,
funny,
man.
dude. That's pretty good.
What a goober.
Yeah, Andrew WK is a goober, isn't he?
Yeah, what a
Mhm.
goober. Sony trailers would be next. Man,
Sony!
Probably got to pick up the pace here. There's still a lot more to cover. Might have to break it up
Yep,
even
and we
more.
are at a half-hour mark on our second hour.
Yeah, we're gonna
Wow.
have to break this up into a three-parter probably here.
That's fine with me.
We can do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, they had 4
Sony.
major releases in their pressers. The Last of Us 2, they had Death Stranding, they had Spider-Man, and they had Ghost of Tsushima. Those were the 3 that they led off with. They had another
They
one.
also had
Control?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
But they-
puzzle-looking one.
Didn't really say much about that one. And they had like that
But I did
weird
watch it.
pulsing magnum. But it looked cool.
Mhm.
That-
We can talk about that when we get there because I watched a couple of people talk about it today, so I have
Yeah.
some info to sprinkle in there.
Yeah.
But,
But
God, come on! Can we talk about
Oh, you cracked there.
yeah, you're
I
gone.
know. I don't know what's going on. Let's talk about The Last of Us 2 taking us to a Trent revival.
Last of Us 2?
All right,
Okay.
so I never played the first Last of Us, but I watched a little bit of video footage in terms of the campaign, and this one seems like it's intended to try and be an emotional roller coaster, but it also had some weirdness in that trailer. So
I
I'm not sure what to
really
think about
enjoyed
it.
the trailer. And Ellie was a big part of the first one, and the first one was also an emotional roller coaster, and it was, a mature game for mature audiences, and this one is a
it's
mature
not
game
deviating.
for mature audiences, and The one thing right off the bat that I have to say about this game is that they are doing a really, really good job at making people look like people. They have that is fantastic the way they're working on that. Yeah.
And the slight little nuance of motions and things that they have for their mechanics.
What got me, strangely enough, what got me is when they were doing the whole barn dance, Ellie dancing thing. The hair on the back of people's neck looks so perfect. I don't know why I cued in on that, but it was so good the way that they did that.
Sometimes it's the little things, and that's why they do it, is so that it can be recognized for the little things.
I'm just going to go out and say it, that I was actually impressed by the kiss, not just because it happened, but because usually animated kisses look
have this weird overlap.
Oh, it looks so terrible.
It was more of a
phased inside each other's
It's usually
faces.
like more of a face mash than a kiss.
But this one actually looked. It looked like something that you can look at and recognize, as two characters kissing.
Yeah.
And I was impressed with that. Yeah, I was like, wow, the video games are coming, like animation video games are coming a long way because that looks good.
Oh yeah.
That render capacity.
I imagine that particular part made a lot of people happy.
Yeah, I'm sure. That's pretty much all I got on that one.
The gameplay looked fantastic and brutal. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It was a little more brutal than I was expecting.
It was
more brutal than I was expecting.
Heavy, dude. I mean, they had a heavy trailer last year, but man, this one
was like, oh, that one wasn't heavy enough. We're time to turn up the dial of heavy.
Yeah, like
and they did all the way.
They had Ellie get smacked directly in the face with a sledgehammer. Like, what the fuck?
And the nice crackling crack of her arm as it got hit. It's like, your arm's broke. Like, if this was real life, your arm would be, like, shredded.
Basically.
It's gone.
Yeah.
But because video game logic, you're still alive with a perfectly fine arm.
Whew.
Yeah.
We'll play. Intense. We'll play. Absolutely. But first I have to finish the first one.
It'll probably be like 10 minutes of happy scenes. And then I'm a weenie. I'm a huge weenie. I don't think I can sit there and watch Ellie get beat to death. Like, that's hard.
Yeah?
I was having a hard time in the trailer. I was like, girl, move.
No, don't stand there.
Yeah. Were you,
so hard.
Were you sitting there squirming like the whole time? Like,
yes! No, don't hurt my baby.
No, crack.
As she pulls an arrow shaft out of her shoulder.
And then uses it on somebody else. Like, she was badass. Don't get me wrong. She was doing it, but I just like, oh, Ellie, no.
Yeah. Oh man, it looks so good. I can't wait to play this game. It looks so amazing.
I'll tell you the game that I cannot wait to play.
That is
the next game, and that is Ghost of Tsushima. Tsushima.
It looks really good.
I want to play that game. When I saw halfway through the trailer how meticulous the animation was of the surrounding environment, only thing I could think of was Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like, this has the colorful look and motion and feel and aura of Horizon. It's got it written all over that game. And on top of that, he started swinging his sword around, and it's like, oh, and now we brought Ninja Gaiden into this game. And then he started doing a little bit of the move and dodge, and I noticed that, I don't know if it was because of the trailer or if they did something special, if this was actual gameplay for a segment or two, but it looked like it had no HUD, so it would actually be a little more reminiscent of For Honor style.
It doesn't have. Yeah, that was gameplay. Absolutely.
So if
what
that was
we
gameplay,
saw was absolutely
it's now
gameplay.
a little extra reminiscence of For Honor. And they're doing it everything right that game should have done.
Well, I maintain that For Honor was a cool concept. They just couldn't pull the servers together quite right.
We'll talk about that later. But
Yep.
but yeah,
We'll touch on.
I did get the beats of For Honor for that one, and I also got a little bit of Soul Calibur.
Yeah,
Because
when they had that duel at the end.
oh
The
yeah.
camera turning, yeah,
Yeah.
the camera turning with the way that they set
that
the
guy
duel
was
up.
just. I was like Mitsurugi. The game. Basically, I'm saying that the swordplay looked amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, choreographed and executed very well.
They
The,
it was so reminiscent of like 70s samurai films that everybody loves so much if you enjoy that genre. It looked so good and
Yeah, like I said,
so
Horizon.
oh
And the reason I remembered it I recognized it in line with Horizon is because of how crisp and colorful and heavily I like saturated color. Maybe that's just me, but it had wonderfully
yeah.
saturated, distinct color palette, and
I think
I'm all over it.
I think more than the fact that it was saturated, it was like realistically driven color rather than, monochrome Rage
Yeah.
or Division. Hint, hint.
Things weren't neon green just for the sake of coloring it something
And
different.
it wasn't super saturated like Halo is sometimes.
Yeah. So
They took a
that
realistic
game
bend to it.
will purchase, will play.
Yeah.
Done.
I mean, it's Sucker Punch, so you can guarantee that their worlds are really cool. For those of you that don't know, Sucker Punch did all of the Infamous games, and they were great. I loved them. And you could probably pick up Second Son pretty cheap because it was a launch title for PlayStation 4. And it's a quick game, quick platinum trophy. It's a lot of fun. It's worth playing, I think.
I was just about to say in terms of like Infamous, I'm pretty sure once or twice it has been one of the free games of the month. So
Yeah.
keep an eye out because they'll probably run it again, and it'll be totally worth it.
Yeah. Absolutely. You will not regret paying nothing for one of those games. They're really good.
It's worth it.
Oh yeah.
So this brings us to the game that Scorch has been yearning for.
Yes.
For many, many, many months now.
Yes. Death Stranding.
Death Stranding.
Stomach baby.
They let off with that Stomach Baby.
Yeah, they did. They
really
exactly
did.
Where the
they
other
showed
left
Stomach
off.
Baby's butt inside Norman Reedus' stomach.
Yeah,
That was their first shot.
But Stomach Baby.
Happening?
I don't know. That's a brain twister. I'm kind of done trying to figure it out, and I would just wait to, like, if I was gonna play the game, figure out what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
I'm so utterly confused by the trailer. But yet intrigued. I don't know what to think.
There's very little that we can actually. Danny says she has a theory for this game. We might want to hear it. Here
about
eventually.
500 people on the internet that have made YouTube videos on Death Stranding theories because they are all over the place.
Yeah. I spoke in depth to one of my friends after we saw that Death Stranding trailer, and we both agreed that we did not know that the direction that this game would take was that the main protagonist would be a fetishware Amazon delivery guy.
But that is what it is.
Yeah, that's what it is. In case you were wondering what the story was, you're a fetishware delivery guy that works for Amazon. And you somehow have a baby in a jar that lets you see floating dead things
that devour the world somehow.
Yeah. And there's rain that makes you time fall. It's time fall.
It's called
rain
time fall.
Time.
And it speeds up whatever it touches. And you can see
will age you into non-existence or something if you're in it.
Yeah,
I'm
you can
assuming.
see when it rains also when the monsters show up that things are sprouting out of the ground and dying in quick succession. Yeah. So
it's timefall rain.
It's timefall rain. And it's, somehow linked to these crazy creatures and all of that.
Internal mental sound effect. That grass is We're just doing that over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And get up to speed and back down again. And get up to speed and back down again. A roller coaster. It's a roller coaster of emotion.
That's right.
So we don't really know much about this game right
Really
now.
don't know hardly anything.
It was said that Hideo Kojima said, "Sure, you can play this game like a shooter. You can absolutely shoot everything that you want, but that's not what the game is about. That's not our focus in like creating this game." So I'm wondering which direction this game will be tailored to.
Don't know.
Well,
Honestly,
wasn't it recently revealed that there's some kind of that platinuming the game won't be easy because there's some kind of special trophy that takes the community to unlock?
Well, they said that there's going to be like some kind of event or cutscene or something like that that revolves around community participation. I think Mads Mikkelsen, of all people, is one of the people that were saying, I have no idea what's going on with this game, but it's really cool, and the community is going to need to be in on something for something to happen. I think that's about all I heard.
Do you think there's going to be like a near moment where you're supposed to put down your arms and like hug your baby?
I
Yeah, you're
don't
going to
know.
restore health that way.
Clutch your baby, feel the baby,
Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know.
absorb the baby.
Absorb the
Um,
baby.
That's basically
So
what you're doing.
that's what you're doing right now. So
Yeah.
okay, you guys are gonna have to help me with this because I'm not sure if this is new information or not. But apparently, in the trailer,
Hmm.
the necklace that the strange female character who may have been Norman Reedus's wife,
Uh-huh.
her necklace had a pattern in it that some Russian guy decoded,
Uh-huh.
and it led him to a music video
Oh,
with
great.
the song that is a theme to the game that has maybe some information about the story in it, and
Oh
it
my
has been
god.
online.
That
It has
would
been
be
online
Hideo
for
stuff.
over a year. It's been
That
online for over a year, waiting to
that's
be discovered.
totally Kojima style.
Hideo.
Like that's
Yeah.
straight up in Kojima Stan territory. Like that's I didn't know that that was real. I didn't even know that was a thing. But that sounds like something that is in the game.
You absolutely do.
Yeah,
My
absolutely.
friend, that was a thing, and it happened.
You have to show this to me. I need it in my brain.
All right, I'll find it and send you the link to it.
Afterwards.
Okay.
We'll put a link to it, just
Yeah.
so everyone can see what in the world we're talking about.
Danny's surprised too.
Well, Denny, as soon as the link is up, you too can learn.
Yeah. Learn along with me. But shall we move on? Do we want to
Yeah,
move
let's
on?
keep going.
Let's move on from this walking simulator.
Spider-Man!
It looks so cool!
I am Spoder-Man.
I mean, it's a Spider-Man game. What else? What else is there?
I mean, it looks fun. They showed
You
the
swing
villains.
around,
They
you
showed
shoot web.
they showed the movement mechanics. They showed the
The
Spidey
only
sense.
interesting thing I'll say is it is the very, very first video game related trailer of any type that I actually started on the path towards Vertigo. Like, I could not believe, like, with all the twisting and turning and flipping, was the very first time I experienced what I can only assume was the very beginning tinglings of a Vertigo sensation. And that was kind of odd.
Your vertigo senses were reeling.
I mean, it was like, I guess we're okay. We're gonna spool this up, and my body's like, wait, what are you doing? I'm in the middle of watching a video. Wait, okay. So that was odd. I mean, I didn't get vertigo, but it was like the starting of it, and I was like, what? Body, what are you doing? Hey,
I was good.
Look,
I was fine.
yeah.
you are
that's
young,
the only,
though.
That's the only
so.
interesting thing.
But I will say that it like people use adjectives to refer to games like kinetic.
Hmm.
This game is actually kinetic.
Yeah.
It was pretty fast looking.
I'm excited for it. Like, I want to play it. I'm sure it'll be another fail video for people to come and watch and maybe hopefully laugh with me. But it looked really cool. It really. I didn't play very many. I think I only played one of the Spider-Man games for the earlier
I mean,
PlayStation consoles.
with as
But
fast
this
as
one
it
looks
is,
so
I will
cool.
probably very much enjoy watching you catapult yourself in all different directions. So this will be really entertaining. It doesn't matter what you're in the middle of doing, just watching whatever happens will in fact be very
Yeah.
entertaining.
Danny says it reminds her of Batman, and I can definitely see the way
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can
Well,
link
I,
those
I
two.
brought that up that
you
when we were
did.
watching it live that it had huge anecdotal, things from Arkham, Batman Arkham, like the way that the mechanics of the combat style worked. Like it
Mhm.
immediately, my first thought was, oh, this looks like Arkham, only it's
Yeah.
Mhm.
Spider-Man.
I mean, it
Yeah.
makes
So yeah.
sense for Spider-Man to be able to sense danger coming his
Well,
way.
yeah.
That's one of the things Spider-Man does. So,
But
yeah,
just the
it
fact that they
works.
did all of the motion mechanics almost, you know,
I
tit for
just
tat for just a
wish
few seconds
that
there, like Arkham.
dumbass Batman hadn't beat him to the punch.
Excuse me. First of all, I want to take exception to that comment because
Yeah.
in no way, in absolutely no way, is Batman a dumbass. He might be a poor
He's a
guardian.
He's a
deranged
genius.
He could
sociopath,
be a
horrible person,
he
disgusting
is a
dumbass.
poor guardian. I will give you that. How many
Yeah, he
Robins have
needs to be
died?
trotted into jail for how many Robins he's murdered.
He
So,
hasn't murdered anyone. That's his whole
Oh my
thing.
God.
He doesn't murder. We're about to fight, sir.
oh, you
Internet
save it. You
fight.
save it for August, all right? Save it for August.
It's
We'll
about
see
to
what
go
happens
down.
then.
Oh, my laptop's about to die. Hold on. Okay, there we go.
But no, but
Oop, you cut.
Oh, you broke.
I don't know what's going on. But specifically in the trailer, when he walks onto the Marvel jail,
The raft.
like the raft, I couldn't think of the name, and the doors open, like the way he encountered his first group of thugs was really
Thugs.
reminiscent of Arkham. And
Yeah.
so like that has nothing to do with them. It's just like that I got that same sensation of like, oh, I've seen this before when that happened. But everything else in the game was totally Spider-Man. It really did have like the web slinging, the banter, the everything. It looked like it's going to be such a fun game. I'm really excited for it to come out.
Yeah, definitely. And
Um,
let's hit up Control, shall we?
yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
How are we doing
So-
on time? I feel like we're almost about to hit our 2-hour mark there.
We are getting close. We have 12 minutes before popcorn.
Okay.
So we're doing pretty good. But I really want to, I really want to talk to you really quick about Control. It's by the same people who did Quantum Break.
Okay.
And so today I watched the Game Informer show. They had like a mini podcast or after E3 wrap up, and they had two people who went to the demo for Control, right?
Uh-huh.
Or maybe one of them spoke to the creative director who was showcasing the game. Okay, all right, you ready for this?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Your name is the main character is a female named Jessie.
Okay.
Something happened to you at a young age, and you now have some kind of odd supernatural power. Maybe it's manifesting itself, in your late teens to early 20s age, and so you want answers.
Oh.
To find answers, you
Oh.
go to the Federal Bureau of Control, which is an organization within the United States government that investigates the unexplainable events that happen on Earth. The most recent unexplainable event that has happened on Earth is that a species or a creature known as the Hiss
The hiss.
has come to Earth, and they are taking out the Federal Bureau of Control. And so you enter into this place, you locate the gun, and that gun was wielded by the previous director of Control. And in taking that gun
Ooh.
up, you like kind of assume the mantle of the director.
Okay.
And so
Interesting.
that's like the game's backstory in a nutshell. The gun is super cool because, because it moves and reconfigures to take shape, to change shape. So it goes from a pistol to a shotgun to probably a rocket launcher or something like that, and then like manifests itself back into a pistol.
Well,
Okay.
part of her power must be to be able to like stretch the ability of that pistol, because there's a scene in that trailer where she just makes a handgun shape with her fingers and goes pew pew and blows apart an entire group of people or like a segment, and then the gun phases into her hand. So she has a certain stretch of her powers that morph when mold with that gun, or there's some kind of extension or ability that it has.
I like it.
So,
I want to know
so
more.
I think it looks pretty cool. I think some of the naming conventions are a little lame, but it's kind
Well,
of hard to come
yeah.
up with names for things. So
I
I'm
was
not
about
really
to
knocking for
say,
it.
was Stan Lee involved at all in the basic premise of that? Because that's so. Oh my gosh, there's so much pork in that fist that Stan Lee had to have been part of it somehow.
Oh,
I
man.
don't think so, but it looks pretty cool. I'm interested in it. Get your conspiracy theory on. It's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that about wraps it up for Sony. They had kind of a small press conference. I don't know if I completely
Awkward.
agreed with their style this round, but I'll give them points for trying something new.
Yeah,
You know?
I really liked their dedication to showing actual gameplay footage from their games.
Yeah?
Their games looked amazing. Like
Yeah?
I am still on I'm still somewhat confused as to why we had to go out to the tent revival. Like I give them points for the atmosphere, but then that incredibly pregnant lady had to pick herself up and then walk back to the other place. I was like,
Yeah?
I was feeling for her because she looked like she was about to give birth at that
Yeah,
moment.
right there on the floor. Absolutely.
They made her come outside and then get up and go back inside.
Oh man. Oh man.
Yep. I think they did that for Ghost of Tsushima too, right? Because people were funneling in while that guy played that bamboo flute.
Oh yeah, and he was going to town. We didn't even talk about that. The live music that they had for those two segments. It was honestly really
Yeah?
really cool.
A banjo virtuoso and a bamboo flute virtuoso.
I think they are called flautists.
Flautists.
Sure.
Mm.
If you play a flute.
What's a professional banjoinist?
Incest aficionado.
No.
God.
No.
Oh man. Yep. I felt that one coming as soon as banjos got brought up. I knew it. I was just waiting for the plug. Waiting for the my sister plug. And then
Yeehaw!
I thought this was an all ages show. Is this not the Nintendo E3 booth? What is
We haven't
happening?
It is
Nintendo
not. It is absolutely not.
This is not an all ages stream.
No, absolutely not. Never was. But, you know.
Never will be. Okay, well, I guess that means that we can take a very brief pause here
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
and ramp up for the next part of our show. And by very brief, I mean we're just going to sit in silence for 10 seconds.
Actually,
We're not
I
going
need to leave. Like, now.
Oh, yeah, because you're heading home, right?
Yeah, like I'm a little past overdue, and I was waiting till our next popcorn thing. We'll have to pick this up at a later time. So we've got 2 segments you can edit and soundbite, and I think we could pick up right where we left off and splice it into a third.
Yeah,
'cause
we've
I
got,
really
yeah,
have to leave.
because we got Ubisoft and Square Enix to cover, and Nintendo.
Yeah. And the begin.
Nintendo.
That is a lot.
Yeah, that's why I don't think it can be covered in the remaining time we have. And I have to go eat still too. I'm freaking starving
gosh.
now.
Wow.
So
All right.
I need to leave.
Okay. That's fair.
So I am just going to depart as things are right now and bid you all a good weekend.
All
All
right.
right, have a safe trip, and we'll pick this up later.
Yeah.
Yep.
Stay tuned
Later.
for part 2, and if you're, in Dash Radio, like part 6 or whatever it is that we're doing.
Part 6 of our 12-part miniseries. Who won E E3?
Executive produced by
Exactly.
Ken Burns.
Oh my gosh! Now we're talking. Let's get some fiddle going and some soft Southern
Yeah.
homilies in the background.
And that slow pan across a sepia photo that he likes to do.
It's beautiful. Yeah. It is beautiful.
It really is.
Ken Burns.
All right. Well, I guess that's it.
At least for now.
Yeah.
Have to resume later.
Follow us on Twitter and subscribe to YouTube. And now we're uploading things to SoundCloud. If SoundCloud is your deal, go and get us there. Yeah, that's about it. We also have a Twitch channel that Vast takes care of a lot. If you want to see what Vast does, go to Twitch.
Poorly.
It's entertaining, Vast.
It is entertaining.
But yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye.